Hello everyone, Mama Mita here. So now today is a day for being in the kitchen. Okay, the weather is changing now, so I really need to get some things done out of the garden and stuff. So I'm going to be making stuffed squash today, but I'm also going to be cutting and harvesting a lot of things and getting it ready, for, to pack it up in the jars and stuff and put in the freezer and things because I need that. Plus, the deals that I got this week at the store and stuff, I need to process some of that stuff also and get it in the freezer too. All right, so the first thing I want to show you is that my husband brought home some garlic. And he said, okay, look, I got free garlic. So I need to process that garlic, right? Because I just can't let it sit around and let it dry out and stuff because even in some of them you have to pick through because I had a few pieces that are dry. And so these here, I don't usually use those, But anyway, I want to show you how let me make sure I got this camera here right for you guys. All right. So let me show you how I do my garlic. So when I get the garlic, okay, I usually take the garlic and it's like this. If I can hold it. All right, so it'll be like that. It's in a skin. So what I do to make it, this is a fast way to, instead of sitting down and trying to painstakingly get this out of the skin, I like to take the garlic and lay it down kind of like that. And then I take the flat of a knife and I smack the flat of the knife with the palm. And when I do that, you see what happens? It starts coming out of its shell like that. So when it comes out of its shell, I just, go ahead and pull that off. Now, sometimes at the top, well, usually always, okay, you're gonna have that little brown thing there. I take and I snip that off. Now, what I do with this garlic, can't see my head, goodness sakes. Hold on. All right. So what I like to do with the garlic, okay, is I got two things that I can do. If I'm just by myself, or just me and my husband, and I'm not doing a lot of garlic, then I like to use this little thing. Oh, I love this little thing. Now, what this little thing has, okay, it has two things on it. I don't know where my daughter got it, but goodness sakes, I absolutely love this little garlic press. It's kind of big and bulky, but it works great, okay? That's the name of the brand there, if you want to check it out. All right, so it has two things. It has here where it can slice the garlic, and then it can crush the garlic. So if it's just, a couple of us that don't need a bunch of garlic done like today, then I would just use this, okay? Now, I can put this in the crusher, all right? And then I can take the bigger one like this here, and I can lay it in the slicer. And then when I do this here, and I go over like that, watch what happens. If I can get that. Okay. All right, there we go. So what it will do is it will slice the garlic for you like this. Look at that. Now, if you had to sit and slice that with this sharp knife, well, number one, it's very time consuming and no one really wants to sit down and slice garlic like that, okay? And the other thing is, it can be kind of dangerous trying to slice it that thin. So this thing works really nice for you to do that. And then when you get to the crushing thing, look how that comes out like that. So what I like to do on that is I like to take, make sure, okay, so I squeeze that down like that, and then I take my knife and I just scrape along the side like that, and that comes out. Now remember, I took it out of its shell. So if I took it out of its shell, I don't have shell in here. You see what's in the bottom of there? That's still garlic, and that's still good. And garlic is expensive. A small pod's like $1, and then at the farms. And if you get the bigger one, like the elephant ones, like the great big, those are $3. So I like to take a butter knife or my finger and scrape it out. And I use it. I don't throw it away. Oh no. All right. So that, and then when I've got all of this garlic peeled, now we'll say that I've got this, say I've got like peeled like this here, all right? It's clean. I took off the little brown thing and stuff, and I've done all of these. What I will do with these, because I do use a lot of garlic at home, and we're constantly going through garlic. I would take that and I put a little bit of olive oil, like 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. Well, not for this, because that's not that much. I would probably put about that much in the food processor, enough to wet the bottom. And then I'm going to take my garlic that's clean and ready to go, and the brown spots off and stuff, and I'm going to throw it through the machine, and I'm going to process it. I'm going to let that go. And it becomes like pureed a little bit, okay? It's meshed up, like crumbled up, right? And then I'll take it out, and I'll put it in a jar and I'll stick it in my refrigerator. And that's how I preserve the garlic, a large amount of garlic. When we did the weddings before, I had 3 bags of garlic that I was processing, because we would just go through so much garlic and stuff. And so that was what, I mean, I can't sit there with that machine and do that, all that, 3 bags of garlic. That's time consuming. I just threw it in the food processor with some olive oil, and it preserves it for over a week. I would probably get 2 weeks out of that garlic out of there, and it worked great. So now today, I've got the green onions. Now, you remember about the green onions when we made the tabbouleh? Well, with the green onions, all you have to do is to stack them. You stack them like that, like almost like stacking pencils, or, you just do them like that, and then you lay them down flat, and you put your hand, put the pressure on, and you take your knife and you just cut them straight across, and it'll make little circles. But today, in this case, I don't really care that I don't have to have little circles and stuff. So I just chop them up fast, and I will throw them in with the parsley and some white onions to make the onions that I need for the stuffed squash today. Then I've got chives. I've got lots of chives from the garlic from the garden today, so I will do those. But those I will have to painstakingly sit there and slice them like making the tabbouleh thing. Then over here on this, I have to take out all of these little things here, because those are no good. Clean it all up, okay? And then I will use my knife, because I'll have to hold those really tight to keep them in place. And then I will slice them up with a really sharp knife. That's what I would do. Now on the rosemary over here, it's dry, so I'm going to process that today. But I'm going to mix that with seasoning and stuff, and I will make a chicken season for that, for me to use later. Then I went out to the garden today, and I brought more rosemary to dry, because I've got lots of rosemary outside, and I need to use that, because that's good money right there. When you make the rosemary powder and stuff, I just need a little bit, but I can also give them out as Christmas gifts. And that makes a really handy thing. They grow great. You don't even have to really worry about them. Lavender and rosemary seems like it doesn't need anything, just a little bit of water, and it just keeps growing. It's very hardy, and rosemary is extremely good for you. Now, we're going to move over here to this other side, and I want to show you this over here. Now, here we go, right here. All right, so now, remember I talked to you before about the store sales that I got. Well, I cleaned up all my bell peppers this morning, and so now I'm going to take the stems off, cut the stems off and stuff, and carefully. Now, every single part except for the stems and the little, the little white stuff that goes inside, and the seeds, the membranes and the seeds, that's the only thing I will not use when I do the bell peppers for the freezer. So all of these will be processed for the freezer, and I'm going to be making them 3 different ways, because I'm going to share them with my daughter, okay? So I remember I talked to you before about the chopping machine. I think I talked to you before about the chopping machine. This one here is a sharper image. And I got this one from Ross Dress for Less for $11.99. Now, and it's great machine. Through the years we have used this. I probably bought maybe 5 machines in the last 15 years. They are really good. So now when you get that machine, you get the machine, you get a comb to help you clean the blades, and you get 3 blades. Now the one that's in the machine right now is the larger tomato blade, okay? I call it usually if I'm doing the bruschetta, then I'm going to use this blade, this dicer. And that one I'm going to do the onions and the tomatoes with it. Now, with this one here, it's going to make the larger tomato size. It'll make the salad, it won't be for Greek salad. You don't want that one for Greek salad. But you could do it for pasta. If you was making pasta salad with salami and stuff like that, then yes, you could use that one. And then this one's the slicer. Now this one for the slicer, I would, I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna use it for the fajitas. And I'm gonna use it for the onions too. If I want to do fajitas, I'm just gonna throw it in there. Who's looking, who cares? Like, you want big slices, well then you go ahead and do that. But I just don't have time for that, And so now when you do the dicer, here is how how your onions are gonna come out. They're gonna be finely diced. So nice and so even and so consistent. Everybody's gonna like, whoa, she must have got this at the store. She must have bought this. No, you just use your little chopper. Now when it comes to the bell peppers, I did a bell pepper too, see? So that's the diced bell peppers. See how tiny they are? The tomatoes come out perfect for bruschetta like that. And then here's the tomatoes when they're bigger. So now you could, if you didn't want your tomatoes to be that small for your bruschetta, you could step it up and go to the next one. And then this would be for the onions and the bell pepper. I know it's a little small for the fajitas. So if you want to make them big, well, go ahead. But I find them just perfectly fine. It didn't affect the taste of it. Then I want to show you how easy it is to use this machine. So when I'm doing the bell peppers, I like to take the inside and I like to put it down like that. Now you can pack it, especially the onions. You could just pack it, and boy, it goes. And that's it. And it goes right through. And the good thing is it stores everything here. It keeps everything clean. And then if I'm doing the onions, I can just pile them I can just pile them high with onions. I've seen people, that was helping me and stuff, they put like a half an onion through. I don't usually do that. I usually just kind of take my time and, and make sure that it's all fitting. And there you go. And then if anything throws aside, put it back in and slap it back down. And that's how easy it is to do that. But I wanted you to see that machine. This is just a wonderful machine. But I think the way it pays off the most, my personal opinion is that it pays off the most when you have a mass amount of cutting to do. Because to clean the machine, you do need to clean the blade. The blade is going to be the hardest thing to clean. And I would say out of all of them, it's usually the dicer that I have to spend a little time on it. So what I'll do is I'll tap it and clean off as much as I can. And then I take my comb and I stick it through each one of these things. And then if that still doesn't get it, then I go with the mushroom cleaner, and I clean it on both sides. But I found that one of the things that does help with cleaning this is if you don't let it sit and dry. If you let it sit and dry, then you're going to have to soak it a little bit with some soap. Like dishwasher soap, and so you let it soak a little bit. And you want to make sure you keep your fingers away from the blades because the blades are sharp. So I'm telling you, this to me, it's a great gadget to have. I absolutely don't want to be without it, especially when I've got a mass amount of stuff, to do here, like all these bell peppers. I've got maybe 40 bell peppers here to do. And so that would be really time consuming to cut at all these different sizes. Well, guys, that's what I had to show you today. And so I got to get busy because, boy, my clock's running here and I gotta produce some food here. They've already delivered the dishes, so I got to get busy here. Okay, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video today. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and punch the little subscription button. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye now.